good day. 525, how much am I? Still not quite up to scratch. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the stadium as it happens. The studium as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with Scholar Monteshane and thank him for coming to our rescue in the rostra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we'd already departed for Thavnir. Knowing him, he probably hoped to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for Y'shtola and the others, I thought now was the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? And it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alfino can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to Phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for some time. That might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Is he a dragoon? There's a red mage. You're a wizard, Harry. If Father can master these fiendish contraptions, then so can I. Heading out for a stroll? The Scholarch himself was here. In that case, what were we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I have somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alfino of all people worrying over his reputation. And at our alma mater no less. Well, wonders never cease. You'll understand soon enough. Off we go. You guys can walk. I'm taking this. What's your favourite food and why is it banana bread? What is a carpenter doing here? Oh shit. Here it is, Phenomenon. Well, I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the expansive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the centre of what would later become the studium, it was established to promote the study of aetherological phenomena, hence the name. Though, with aether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th Astral Era, Phenomenon was decreed complete and the state studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is without a question the world's leading authority in aetherology, the arcane, the occult, astromancy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Australia's foremost educational institute. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited the same foppish speech, such as his undying love for his old stumping grounds. He was in top form back then. Youngest turned to the state studium, graduated with highest honours in magical arts and aetherology, undisputed champion of the debated chamber. Hold on, you both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prodigious scholars. Fucking hell, I really can't speak today. Nice of you to say, but Alfino actually entered half a year before me, nor did I do well enough to graduate with honours. And I am certainly not the studium's most notorious master debater. In all aspects have I ever been in his shadow. If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Levier began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades, how hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration of the student body has. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphino, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Montichin. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him. That's probably a decent thing. That was Alphino Levier, wasn't it? The Alphino Levier. And he's with his sister, Master Baldessian's granddaughter. It's going to mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Oh, sorry. You said you were looking for the Scholar Arc. Yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere. But Miss Aliapo should have a better idea. I should probably repair my armor after yesterday. I had a bit of a... sells all sorts. Archon loaf. Take 3 more. Greshot greens, I should probably take the stock back up because I'm going to need them. Alright. Repairs is what I wanted, actually. Because I did some not alliance raids. I did my daily dungeons yesterday and got bloody fucking wrecked by the new arcane aetheological center or whatever the fuck it's called. Things were bad enough during our school days, and Alphino's time abroad has only heightened his fame, or should that be infamy? He has rivals and detractors, of course, though most of them gave that up after his adoring fans set upon them like ravenous dogs. Alphino, on the other hand, never paid them much notice. They were simply beneath him. Oh god. I assure you, I'll tell you about this after my business with the Scholark has concluded. The Scholark? Tell me, my good fellow. Does this have something to do with saving the world from catastrophe? Might we turn our attention to Master Levea's graduation thesis? I too have my doubts regarding policy of non-intervention. Is it true that your experiences overseas are the reason you have incurred the ire of the Forum? Oh, what I wouldn't give to see you butt heads with those old codgers. Damn. Some hairdos, man. No. Hinegeshi. How am I supposed to approach any gleaners for help when the subject of our research remains undecided? Honestly, that man. Hello, Diggs by the way 7. How's it going? Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you warm welcome to the Searcher's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal in here at Searcher's Meet. Whenever the students come to us, students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you won't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Pacer this, Tongue of Dragantoad that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end. Which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic after all. And our newest, and as our newest gleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the scholar's whereabouts. I've tracked down miscellaneous knickknacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. So what you're telling me is you're not a gleaner? Yes, that's exactly what you said, isn't it? And you're looking for a scholark. I'm afraid we don't have any of those in stock, but I can... Oh, you mean him? He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was going on his way to make us meet. Go back in the way you came and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sort, home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Huh. In the time it's taken me to tell you all of this, the scholar has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I've got a feeling you'll need it. Well, that's really encouraging. Oh, is this the... Oh yeah, this is where I went earlier. Level-headed student. Yes, the scholar was here a short while ago. He offered me advice for my current research project. We spoke at length, and I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we both parted ways, he went down the corridor. Perhaps one of the auditoriums? Got a feeling it's going to be this one. There we go. Monteshin. Oh, I remember you. I believe I've not caught you in an opportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words at the forum. I should probably turn this down a little bit, so I'm not speaking too much over him. Well, I could hardly let that Inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless. Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think that you would not have given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards. Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friend, Galuf and Luiso, in a less... my dearly departed friends, Galuf and Luiso, in a less dour setting. But it seems I'd just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves in the forum. Why it fair brought a tear to my eye. You must have the patience of a saint putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prized student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask. People keep winking at me. If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the forum must fulfill? Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all some humble servants of the forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty are bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the forum. How is that even possible? It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please take a seat. We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of aetherology. The aether which imbues us with life can be categorized into three forms. Two are the incorporeal sort, the soul and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third? Corporeal aether. Corporeal aether. Yes, very good. I like this guy. And this is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities and replenished by the food and drink which sustain us. This form of aether is in constant flux. In contrast, the aether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, and the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Welcome to the... Now, what would happen if the paper was doused with ink? The same type of aether is comprised of memories. That's what tempering is, I guess. Well, it will blot out everything that was written. Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activity that depends upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this phenomenon was observed on a large scale not so long ago, and what might that have been? Tempering. Seventh Umbral Calamity. People of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire upon the realm, but they don't remember. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards. Indeed, to this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence of a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the forum is based on a similar principle. Yes, it's a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibitions against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil, but you have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace. I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored? If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to freely speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our soul washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe. What happens after that? We are reduced to pure aether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternate schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another thought form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today. Now that I've given you some food for thought, or rather, an entire banquet. I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as an associate to our alumni and the students of Balsedion, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend. Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliopo? Ki Aliopo. She's well known amongst the artisans of Sharlayan, and her networks of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they take you. They may take you. Sound the Bells School's Hymn was that the name of that quest. You've been granted the run of the Phenomenon. If you are game, Kree Adiopa would put your artisanry to good use. Let's see what people are running. Eden's Verse, Static, Wanting Strange, Victory Fanfare Reborn, Loot, Want to Sell, Cottage, 3 million a house, 6 million, Whisper Me offers Industry. Small choice, chain of memories, chain, looking for members. I already have a member, so sad. While Scholark Montichen is best known for his role as head of the stadium, he's said to be one of the finest mages Sharlayan has ever produced. Having seen for myself the ease with which he weaves extraordinarily complex and powerful magics, I have no reason to doubt that claim. That is right. Palm Crook. Oh, that's a good looking thing. Some of my earliest memories are of Scholark Montichen, actually. He was a close friend of our grandfather's. He would come for tea and amaze us with his tricks, much like his demonstration with the paper and ink. He's a huge part of why I wanted to enter the studio in the first place. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the forum's true motives and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in the days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with Qui Leopa, as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. Capital idea. Oh, it's you. You're the one the Scholark was telling us about. Chakor, yes? Brilliant. Just the woman I was hoping to see. I'm sure as I'm sure you're aware, the Studium is the most prestigious educational institute in all Australia. As such, we make a point of only working with the best educators and students. The gleaners we employ are also held to the same high standards. Of course, what is better, which is perhaps why it has been so difficult for us to find. It has been so difficult to find the assistance we need of late. Surely you understand the trouble of finding competent and capable help. That's where you are come here suggests that you're willing to lend a hand. No, I'm certain you would have much to gain from working with us. So, do let me know should you commit to lending your services to the Studium. I should warn you, however, there is much I must explain ere you begin, so be certain you have sufficient time to spare. Alright. Several cinematics in now, allow me to explain our work here. Professors and students from our many faculties gather in search of me in order to do business with and recruit reputable individuals such as yourself. Allow me to briefly introduce those here as present. Here we have Borek from the Faculty of Archaeology. He works as an assistant to Professor Rurusha, and is currently seeking a skilled metal worker to help restore an ancient relic. There's Jude, who belongs to the Faculty of Astronomy. He seems to be looking for an artisan able to work leather, cloth, or wood, but he wouldn't tell me much more than that. He's awfully shy, you see. Next we have Telophoroi, a student studying the field of medicine. I'm fairly certain she's carrying out research under the supervision of Professor Galvarosh. In any case, she's after someone who knows a thing or two about medicine and nutrition. And here's Hinageshi of the Faculty of Anthropology. She told me she's searching for botanists and miners at present. By the sound of it, she and Professor Takin are dealing with a formidable task. Last but not least, Professor Talakatia, an associate professor in the Faculty of Aetherology. I heard he's in need of a fisher to help him conduct research for his thesis. Unfortunately, things do not seem to be progressing well for him at the moment. I'd say those five are the ones most in need of supplementary aid. I'll leave it to your discretion to choose who to help, although, be forewarned, academics can be an odd bunch. Just be sure not to leave anyone in the lurch after you've agreed to help them. We now undertake deliveries at the stadium, speaking to those belonging to the institution's various faculties to learn what ails them. Nice. Right. So we can go back to being white mage. Are we going back to the Baldessian estate? Yeah. Oh, should probably put my UI back. Oh, this way and then this way. Blood testing. Oh, no, don't want to go back there. Who needs stairs? I'm assuming they're here. Looks like Stoller and all that haven't come back yet. It seems I've done an adequate job on relaying Scholararch's Montechen's lecture to Raha. Given his experience in the field of souls and memories, he had no trouble understanding it. You'd better not let your guard down around Key. One small favour becomes another, then another, and then before you know it, you'll be running to the other side of the world in search of a bottle of wine or some other rubbish. Then again, it might make for a welcome change of pace from your usual heroics, and as the Scholark said, it could lead to some interesting discoveries. Having spent most of my time in Thavnir, I've yet to fully grasp the lie of the land here in Shireland. Even finding my way to the Annex proved a challenge. Justinian returned not long after we departed for the studium. A shame that he missed the chance to attend our lecture with the Scholarch, or perhaps not. Graha, tell me. Welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in opposition to Limsa Laminza. Oh, that's going to be really expensive. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give us a hand, would you, Estinian? Phew, I didn't realise these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Virtue and the alchemists of the great work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the forum's watchful gaze, I have little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn, I can feel it. To Limsa Laminza. No, it's Lenosa. How is it so cheap to teleport to Limsa, but so expensive to teleport here? Did I not launch Discord? Caught up to all my Discords. Whilst I'm here, I might as well check my. Oh, no, I would have gotten a message. Blades Muse. Yeah. Don't test me, shows thanks. That's a bit cringe. I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer and the Sultana, three of the most powerful women in the world, in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you a hint to them? Nah, I'll be fine. My apologies for calling you away from Charlian at such short notice. On the contrary, we were honoured and grateful, pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition, our forces struggling to contain the threat posed by the towers. It is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But Might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilise their potential to the fullest. During a time in Shalian, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of kobolds, Sahagin, Ixal, and Anenta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Radzatan has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace. And it is you, the signs of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telophoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. Those brave few will be the Ilzabard contingent. I've got a feeling we're going to be on that. To think such progress was made in so short a span. Our objective is twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and citizens have been tempered, robbed of their free will. They serve the Telophoroi's every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering. Not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I only ask that in choosing to remember, we do not forsake our compassion and morality. For without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianga observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe that the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we'd failed to make any headway. Though, the same could be said of the Telophoroi. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Yshtola's analysis of the tower's influence on the ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon aether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of aether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring the schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. Well, that's all well and good, but what would you have us do? I'd assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilzabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Ilza and the Eastern Alliance. You accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For honour and glory, for the people of Garlemald, for revenge against the Telophoroi, for the people of Garlemald. Couldn't have put it better myself. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Urianga have already pledged their support, and they're on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their predictions were correct. Once you've delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilzabard. Rauban and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourself known upon our arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold would do you in before the Telophoroi make so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now, go safe in the knowledge that Ilza will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. Hey, we're going to Garlemald. look, it's a level 7 pugilist. I'm assuming she's not. She's not like, oh, let me get quarters. Oh, that's pricey. So I should make back the money I'm losing on teleports eventually. I'm starting to get a little low in the bank. In the old bankaroonie. You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who's been selected for the Ilsebard contingent. I have a few people in mind. Care to make a friendly wager? I admit, this is all rather daunting. They're not quite in the way I was expecting. We'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance's finest. The best of the best, the warrior light and, well, me. It's silly, I know. Perhaps this is my way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about, marching into Garlemald. I must quiz Thancred and Irianga on the conditions we can expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Well, I need to keep my ears covered. They can be a bit sensitive at times. If Emmerich asks after me, say I'm fine. I'm getting on fine and leave it at that. Don't you dare breathe a word about the cord. Fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settled into life as a scion. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, he'd be off he'd go, like a gaoler cat swept up in a strong breeze. But rest assured, he will always be there when you need him, probably. The Wanderers return. You've been busy, bringing down the tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organise the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsebard contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto the Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emmerich's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind of knowing, from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsebard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Guys? Word of your exploits travels quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditory force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange. I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Telophoroi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Vanis and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsebard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I'm branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. I doubt they'll be pleased to see the champion of Eorzea set foot on Garlean soil. Fair point. As long as you refrain from announcing your arrival to all and sundry, the average person should have no inkling as to your own identity. Although your titles and deeds are common knowledge, only a select few would recognize you on sight alone. Perhaps one day they will learn that the Warrior of Light is not a demon to be feared, but a woman deserving of their trust. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two. And if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you, all of you. Fuck me. What is this? Chest gear. Computer chest. Oh, nice. Are they just going to say the same things again? So that's Balsar, Gaius Balsar. The horrors he must have seen. Many of his own making, I do not doubt. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varys' murder, though I am rather less recognisable on sight. Still, it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that might be of interest to you. While engaged with a lunar rival, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. It would seem she too continues to wage war against Telophoroi. Once again, we've seen the contingent on its way. I'll return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be travelling with you to Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I do not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. With the knowledge that our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may divert our attention to the Elzabardian plan. I suppose it's easy for someone to forget that there are civilians in Garlemald too, when the only Imperials they have known are soldiers. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. Ooh, gift. Is this the end of the Is this the end of yet another quest line? No, it's not. So we get to go to Garlemald next. There are members of the Elzbard contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival. So please make your way inside as soon as you're ready. So this is all the same. The remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Elzbard contingent await you inside. Would you like to see me through? I need to see you through. By the 12th. Wow, that's a lot of people. Oh, is Lisa coming with us? Wood Whalers. Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, we went ahead and started without you. As you can imagine, our travelling companions were eager to become acquainted. It is a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a simple purpose. We fight not only for the sake of our Eorzea, but the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Elzabard contingent. Fucking Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included. Lukia. I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honoured me with the role of Ishgard's representative. For the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it together. We shall together. We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it. Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone, if I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first? Oh my god, it's the Seatiers, little brother, if I must. I am Alisena, spokesperson of the Gridanian delegation, here on the behalf of my esteemed sister, the elder Seatier. We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild with the Order of the Twin Adders' finest serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompany us, as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Rayo sends her regards, by the way. I love that they do that. That they fucking actually, like, say, oh, you're a white mage, so we're happy to have you here. Suppose I better say my piece. Wait, I know you. It's the pirates. The name's Sigurd, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you'd had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfir to send his best, and for whatever reason he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughingstock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a kill-hauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you've got to trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but with the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since you all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to help to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we've got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me. You're certainly raring to go, but then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldarum Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Alden's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for the others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front. It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield. From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself, Master Matoya, the Avatar of Destruction. Angry. With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed no matter what waits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest, but until then, let's give it our all. As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in itself. Our experience with fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Elzabad contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, Highland Arts, foremost among them, have arranged for a host of mechanists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature together with the smiths of Limsa Malimsa. There is another awaiting introduction. Lord Emanelian. Yes. Emanelian the 4/10 at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you're away. Rather far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided that this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace. And all that. Should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of the light. May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. But I say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom. Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Telophoroi with my tales of daring do. I love this guy. I believe that concludes the introductions from the Grand Company of Eorzea. Oh yeah, because we've got Far East, yeah. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it appears they have been delayed. Would that be the Shinobi of Doma? Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead. Here they are. Out my way, you preening fool. Ksotoko. Oh, we get to see her again. Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates from of the Eastern Alliance. Sirena, and you've brought company. For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our land, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked, no quarter the enemy. Sadikitan, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war. Warriors of the steppe, we have heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these others you've brought are members of the Dalmaskian resistance group, Lentes Tears. And the Bosjan resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities, which is fortuitous since the Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle the reconnaissance duties all by myself. Dalmasca, Bosja, Alamigo, all lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Goldman. And they are victims, make no mistake, though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such. You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there are a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere else. And who can blame them? The Empire has always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with the Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people, no different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Bordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Aussie here knows Sid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Doma. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least, that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make the world a better place. What lingering concerns I may have had weren't clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly. Then we were in accord. Let us review our strategy. To reach Garlemald, the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garland Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us the most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi, as they appear to have seized control of the majority of Imperial military. We must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach. Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure that we can withdraw with all haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves, and the airships, which must be kept safe at all cost. We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested, sorely tested I expect, but for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there's no turning back. Yeah. Is there going to be oh my god, look at all the people we can talk to. When I heard that the God's Quiver was sending a bard to join the contingent, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to demonstrate my strategies involving the use of song in the battlefield. As expected, it was none other than Gudelot. Honestly, I hope he doesn't cause any problems, though I am not about to hold my breath. This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest of our allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed, I'm certain of it. We've been part of joint military operations like this before, but with far greater numbers. But for some reason, this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little of our, more than introductions, there is already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I was half expecting to see the man who taught me red magic amongst our numbers, but he's nowhere to be seen. I suppose he's had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there's another reason. Well, in any case, I have a feeling I'll see him again once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how my sword plays improved since we last met. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies over our journey's course. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances, who in time we shall come to call our comrades, and mayhap friends. I have close ties with the scouts of the Eastern Alliance, and with the various resistance groups. They're an absolute joy to work with. Well, if I'd have known what social gatherings would turn out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems the perfect opportunity to mingle with other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Serena and Sadu of the Steppe? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of the fellow with the enormous axe. That's fair. I've led troops into battle many a time, but never a unit with such diverse range of talents. While I've briefed I've been briefed on their capabilities. I expect you could provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I'd appreciate any advice you may have. In case you're wondering, Escher will be staying behind to defend 12 Wood and my sisters. She was of the opinion she would make a useful addition to our contingent, and was eager to make good on her vow to accompany me as well, which was flattering, but ultimately it was decided that her skills would be better put to use keeping our homeland safe. I am of course obligated to share with her every detail when I return. Well, would you look at that? Chaka swooping in to pluck our former villain from the jaws of death. You and yours are certainly a heroic bunch, aren't you? Sanson, on the other hand, who does he think he is, preaching to me as he does? Honestly, the last thing I need is him talking to my bloody ear off. Greetings, Pachaka. The time has come for us Marines to show our valor upon the battlefield. All who see us will know our name and quake before our might. To victory, come hell or high water. I'm here to represent in the Marauders Guild, and it's my job to keep the Smiths out of harm's way. Mind you, with them hammers of theirs, they can put up a fair fight themselves. With a bit of luck, this might be over and done with before you know it. Maybe when this is all over, you could pay the Axe Master a visit. He still tells all the new recruits about the time he killed Kujata and avenged the boy's parents. I remember it like it was yesterday. Until the Empire fell, Guardians were the only ones we were allowed to impose tariffs upon our. Guardians were the only ones we was allowed to impose tariffs on at sea. We weren't easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty gill. Since they've been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time to return the favour and give a little something back. We came as quickly as we could. We would follow your example and devastate the Telophoroi with the full extent of our powers. Worry not for your brothers, but Boosie, we will return soon enough. Often as father told me of the struggles faced by Alamigo in the days of the occupation, and I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. The Gollemald has long been our bitter enemy. Her Grace has elected to bolster the Ilsabard contingent with the members of the Immortal Flames. As representative of the Sultanate, we are one in our commitment to the cause. It seems so long ago we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Azim Steppe with Serena and the others. I haven't talked to Serena yet, have I? I'd say we're overdue for another adventure. It brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together. Good times and not so good times. I expect Garlemald will mostly be the latter. But I'd like to believe we'll look back on these days more fondly in years to come. But for that to happen, we'll have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, okay? Chuchuto. I'm here representing the Pugilist Guild in place of Master Hammon. Know that I've got your back till the bitter end, Chaka. I cast my lot with the Popularis to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories. That all may be united in a common cause. But we were disparaged as a radical element, dissenters looking to destabilize the Empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. And the world itself stands on the brink. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I hold out hope that one day our dream will become reality. Hello, Serena. I'm glad to see you well, Pachaka. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the god sent her a strange dream. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer. And as they danced, the world fell to ruin. In blinding chaos, she spied blackened silhouettes, and knew at once one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign of that great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveller. I care not for the Iron Men or their troubles. It is the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I have agreed. I volunteered to join this band at Serena's request. If she thinks it a worthy cause, that is reason enough. Though we hail from a different tribe, Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the steppes oafish men could dream to be. Well, Magno. With the Mole, champions of the Nadim, and the Dathal having sent so many here, I had thought the chance to defend the steppe in their absence. And I would have done so were it not for my step brothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them unto victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral Dathali dog. As first among my brothers, I could do no less than accept the challenge. My deeds will become the stuff of legends. I think that's everyone. I think we did it. We've gone round. Oh, I remember this room. This is where you fight Sri Lakshmi. Beside the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes have offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilzabad. They would also likely provide tempting targets for abduction by the Telophoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defences in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Can you care to do the honours? We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. These enchanted talismans, or should that be talisman, would probably require considerably less time and effort to produce if the alchemists of the great work were not so preoccupied with making them look pretty. Oh, the talisman. We have to keep these close at all times, yes? I will see that no one misplaces theirs. Ah, and before I forget, I have a message from Hien. In distant lands, in time of strife, together we stand, together fight. In the darkness shines the light of life. Oh, that's it. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Othard, has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wishes to express his shared conviction. Hien and Yuguri labour without rest to unite the people, and with their aid, will keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war. Runa Sana, yes? So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. I myself am especially grateful for this opportunity to visit distant lands. I wish to follow in the footsteps of Master Atoa, and learn all there is to learn of the star we call home. Indeed, that is the primary reason I volunteered to join the expedition. To journey outside the Twelveswood, much less enter into Imperial territory, is a rare privilege afforded a Pajal. Not that I'm tagging along to see the sights, the Guardians would benefit from my healing magics, as would our comrades, should fighting break out. So God, I heard you got something for us. Yeah. Ah, them scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, aren't they? Ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gill or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send Enzar instead? Buggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilfir told me was they needed someone to help safeguard the future, and here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humour. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land in the middle of the sodding snow of all places. Well, me and my crew will do whatever needs doing. So let's set sail, or however the saying goes on our ships. Let's see. That set of warding scales I spy. Not that I would know what they'd look like. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with aether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, we'll give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountains of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xanos back in the grave where he belongs. Warding scales for the Ishgardian delegation, I take it. What have I missed? Many thanks. These talismans these talismans will prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Gulmald, sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw my lot in with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Emmerich. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Gulmald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. Oh, Maxima, I don't follow him. Do you have a warning scale for me too? Thank you for this. Thank you for this, and for going to such extraordinary lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice if I may. You have been told by many to wear the cold of Ishgard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Ashamizen Quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have pilots ready with the airships. Preparations. I've got my armor and my lance. What more could I need? Since my revival, I've been lax in expanding my limited wardrobe. Think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Charlian. I recall a rather fetching coat. It's something of constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present garb may be lacking, fur collar notwithstanding. Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Uldan markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficacy. It is said, however, in the recent days of the Alchemist Guild hath produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Maybe the achievement of the Thavnarian counterparts did spur them to action, that they not be put to shame. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like this. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. If you have anything you'd like, you still need to take care of, you'd better see to it now. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You needn't worry about your anger and I. We still have what we wore in Gulmald before. Justinian claims to be warm and toasty beneath his armour, and since he spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Graham Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise. I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with your style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark, is that the cry of scions in need of a tailor I hear? Hello, fucking Tataroo. But how? I have my ways, oh yes indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilzabard without telling me? Nothing escapes my notice. Now, you will wear these garments I've made for you, whether you like it or not. You'll never cease to amaze me. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion, rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? I did have one other thing to share. Artemis and Bluombois have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headwaters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Charlian. Oh, why not? You can keep Krell company in the Baldessian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. I heard them did a fine job carrying out carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've got nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Although I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world. If anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make way to Charlian. I really do hope these new clothes are warm enough to keep. I do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Here are winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. That's a nice coat. I might wear that. Tassery. I'm told the airship pilot has been sent to meet you. Oh, there he is. Alright, this is where we go our separate ways. Do be careful, won't you? Oh god. It is an honour to finally meet you. We of Garland Ironwork will be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains and into Garlemald. For many of us, it will be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. Our resources are at your disposal, and if there is aught we might do to be of further assistance, please do not hesitate to ask. If you're ready to depart, I will ready the engines. Several cutscenes play. Yeah, alright. It should be fine. God, it's already been nearly an hour and a half. Here we go, we're going here. Elsabard, divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step, but why go by foot when one can simply fly? On the outskirts of the imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glaciers, the icy wind howls in protest, as if to warn against further trespass. We received word from Thancred's reconnaissance party. They have sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials. Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps? Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports they are led by Virgilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their numbers. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st. From what I recall, the 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varys' death. The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies. Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now these former foes cooperate and defend or ruin Garlemald from invasion. then it is all but certain they have been tempered. What's the plan then? If me and my crew were out reaving, we'd charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for. Quite right. Soldiers I know, they are people of Garlemald. The very ones we have come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, you must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field. How so? Savage beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment? Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle. Having observed the opposition, I imagine Thancred has something to suggest. He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial Detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments. And once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In doing so, they will deprive the front lines of the material, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate. Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea. Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into two groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our surprise. As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most. I'd prefer, however, that you accompany the rear guard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice, kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak. Meanwhile, at the Imperial Supply Depot. Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible. Still, I always have a flair for the dramatic. Not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her first for fireworks. Alright, once more, for my peace of mind. Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's Magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn for a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely. Our second will be to issue the activation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this terminal should reach those deployed on the front lines, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. The blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan, and we should all live to see tomorrow. In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but you certainly wish to play the lone wolf. Wouldn't have it any other way. Call it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do. Very well. I wish you the best of luck. Arigato. I'm assuming I'm going to be role-playing as... Yeah, thank God. Assuming there is nothing else you wish to confirm, may we commence the mission as soon as you're ready? Oh, shit, okay. Nice. Alright, I see. This is pretty intense. Shit, I actually can't one-shot these.
こちらサンクレッド、爆薬は仕掛け終えたぞ。
こちら牧島、他の部隊も順調です。あなたは続けて魔導兵器の端末へ、北西の方向です。
了解だ。目的を達成した部隊は予定の位置で待機していてくれ。
Shit, okay. It's over there. Oh, hopefully the rest of it isn't a stealth section. I fucking hate stealth sections.
お疲れ様でし
You're
た。
returned, and none the worse for wear, to my considerable relief.
あっちの準備は大
And
丈
what
夫そうか。
news from our comrades?
ええ、
They stand at the ready.
視聴部隊ともに
了解だ。
Excellent. Then let the fireworks begin. That was really nerve-wracking. A few months later, at the rear of the Ilsbard contingent's supply caravan, please let me play as myself.
吹雪
The blizzard is beginning to clear.
そろそろ前を行って
The vanguard should be engaged with the Imperials any moment now, if they haven't already.
ヤシトラたちも
Stella and the others are with them, so I'm sure they'll be alright, but that's not good.
みんな止まって
Wait, something's coming.
何か来る
That's the dog. Please don't let me play fucking... How'd I say? Oi oi, looks like we're not the only ones playing, only ones who sent scouts. Keep them from the carriages. We lose those and we're as good as dead. Please let me play me. Come on. Yes.
落ち着いて、まず戦えないものを守るんだ。
Telekinesis. Brief respite, be prepared. Keep the savages safe. What impeccable timing.
みんな、リュウス戦争の英雄が来たぞ。踏ん張れ。
Good. Doing fine display, but the other carriages are still in danger.
戦闘のキャリッジが苦しそうだな。お前は言ってやれ。
Go ahead, we'll hold the line.
お前が上がってきたってことは
We're the only ones struggling.
俺たちだけか。上等だ。
Put our backs into it then.
海賊の意地ってものを見せてやるよ。ぶちかましてやる。
Go on, Graho will get him. Get him with me. You're getting quite low. Magitech reinforcements arrive. Right. That big bus is going straight for the carriages. Stop it in its tracks. Quick, broadside it.
敵の増援が
You lot alright back there?
おい後ろはどうだ。
問題ないよ。あとは
We're
僕た
fine.
ちだけで守り
I'm
きれ
ready
る。
for more.
だそうだ。
Hear that?
ならお前は本体の方に合流しろ。あっちも交戦中だ。
Get to the front and turn the tide.
だろ。
Head north and join the Gamma Guard. Please don't make me play Stoller. Me or on the front lines. Oh, it looks like not all of the Magitech's down. You put him to sleep.
やりすぎないようにね。
Remove them from the field was not a euphemism for enthusiastically murder.
言われなくても
It's nothing that won't heal in time. The trouble is, their tempering has made them utterly fearless. Subduing them would be far easier if they had the capacity to submit in the first place.
それがあの子
Well,
たちの
this is the path our young charges would have us walk, and that all, and
難しいと知
that
っていて
and that we all agree to follow. You knew it would be hard, yet you still pledged your lance, did you not? That I did. I would rather play Estinian than play Y'shtola. Or I could play Lise. Please don't make me play this guy.
あれが
That's Virgilia. Damn it, I need to help the others take her down.
シリナたちにかこちらもなか
There's
な
no
か
end to them. Oh, I do get to play as well.
来てくれた
I was wondering when you'd turn up.
気合入った
There's no stopping us now.
もう一丁
Come on, let's show them what we're made of. I can hear people fighting, let me fight.
作戦は順調だ。あとは我ら本体がここを突破するのみ。
一丁やっちゃるよ
Something's coming.
これが猛牛
As a raging bull. Fucking Pippin, look at him. Jealous.
ウェルギリアだ。
Hunger is far from slack. Seconds on this. Salvo. Oh, fuck. Shadow here. Cast regen on Lucia. Maybe cast a heal. This is like a proper fucking fight. Oh man. Oh, that was intense. Oh, I really enjoyed that. Hmm. It looks like there's a hunt going on. Huh, a worthy adversary. Rest, recover, reclaim yourselves, then we'll fight again, to the death. Sadhu Sat Katan. This dude. That was the last of them. The day is ours. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your timely arrival. What of the supply caravan? It's fine. Took care of it. Outmaneuvered, but not outmatched. Good. Let us take the Imperials into custody and rejoin our comrades. And soon we shall arrive at the capital. Oh, that's a creepy ass castle. So cold and unforgiving, thus spoke Empress Solace as he gazed upon his barren domain. "800 years it has been since the Guardians first set foot here. Bested by the Corvusy after centuries of war, driven in from fertile southern pastures into the blasted northern wastes. In that garden of desolation, they clung to one another for warmth, freezing, hungry, desperate, hated. The chosen forsaken. God, the chat's going mental right now for our hunt group. In the year 1513 of the 6th Astral Era, a young legatus named Solus single-handedly sparked the Magitech Revolution. How did he conceive the machina that fed on Ceruleum? Once a common, soft-spoken soldier, how had he so quickly ascended through the ranks? Like so many others, those who knew the truth are gone. Taking in the capital with his eyes for the first time, I recall thinking to myself, far colder on the earth than in the heavens. Yes, far colder indeed. Bitterly so. I think this is Emma. Garlemald. Not so much as a whisper. The road leads beyond the walls. The city walls would have been used less recent. The roads leading beyond the city walls would have been used less in recent years. Nevertheless, this was one of the most important gateways into the capital. Buzz day and night with activity. Aye, merchants passing through the checkpoint, many of them stopping at the local hostelries. Surely they cannot all have been tempered. We can consider the question after we have made camp. If we spend any longer outside, we may well freeze to death where we stand, the tempered Imperials too. This will be our temporary base of operations. Secure shelters for ourselves and the injured, and dispatch scouts to survey the surrounding areas. If we're planning on staying here a while, we ought to give this place a proper name. The constant sound of ice cracking underfoot makes me think of broken glass. An apt name, perhaps. But enough of this. To work, everyone. Camp Broken Glass. Nice. Greens. Oh, dark matter. Shouldn't be long before we have a half-decent camp with so many helping hands. I was concerned the snow might hinder our progress, but our Ishgardian friends are used to working in conditions like these. In spite of the obstacles we've faced, our plan proceeds apace. Just a little further and we'll reach the capital itself. Still, we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. As soon as the camp has been made fit for purpose, we are to discuss a course of action with Lucia. Would you mind Yustula and Graha to join us in that building to the northeast of the camp. Alice and I will meet you there. Oh, there's Yustula. A meeting? Yes, I'll make my way over there once my head is cleared. In truth, I've been feeling out of sorts ever since we arrived. The air is thick with a palpable aura of malevolence. It is the monstrous tower on the horizon, jagged, hideous, unholy. Even at this distance, its presence is overwhelming. Much like the sensation I felt in the Tower of Zot, only far more terrifying. Aether flows unceasingly towards it, converging on it into a swirling mass of unfathomable power. For a blessing, the constant chill in the air is helping to anchor my senses in the here and now. Tell the others I shall be with you in a few moments. やばいですね. It's not only the tempered that need care. A fair few of our own were wounded on the Magna Glaciers. If only we hadn't needed to defend the supply caravan, a lot more of us could have joined the front lines. You'll be pleased to know that most of the tempered have been quartered inside the nearby building and are receiving treatment as we speak. I do, however, feel no small amount of guilt for commandeering civilians' homes. The occupants may be long gone, but everything is exactly as they left it. Considering the length of time that's since passed, one would expect to find them ransacked. Strangely, there are no signs of anything having been stolen. It's possible that everyone fled at the first sign of trouble, though it seems to me that they left far too many useful possessions behind. Aye, while there is no conclusive evidence, I strongly suspect they were tempered. Sorry, I was merely thinking aloud. You mentioned a meeting? I will make my way there. Oh, there's a lot of people in here. Hell's bells, this place is bloody freezing. Rather be tied to the topmast in a storm than suffer this cold any longer. Anyone what can spare a swig of rum, that'll sort me right out. The tempered soldiers are sleeping soundly while they undergo treatment. There are too many to attend at once, but I and the other healers will see to them all eventually. This is all that remains of Latarum. Homes become empty husks. If this is the state of the outlying villages, I dread to think what's become of the capital. We've asked the Ironwork members and some of our other comrades to stay with the airships. In the event we are discovered, we must be ready to move them swiftly to a secure location. Robin has taught me a lot about military strategy during exercises in the Fringe, coordinating units with wildly different capabilities, surveying and securing hostile terrain, that sort of thing. Now I have the chance to put his teachings into practice. Virgilia is in our care, along with the rest of the tempered. Glory to Garlemald, glory to Garlemald, they still whisper in their sleep, even as they writhe in pain. How awful. Thanks for informing the others of our meeting. When everyone is here, it will begin. Sorry, I was alt-tabbed. Our present situation is as follows. Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach. But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city, for therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telophoroi's designs.
であれば
I may have a suggestion. I have a suggestion, if I may.
実は
Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on Magna Glacies are members of the Papyrus and acquaintances of mine. Once you've cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account on the events leading to the capital's downfall.
いいじゃない。
A promising idea. I will assist the healers in their ministrations.
連れてきたポークシー
Of course, I will require a proxy of my own, assuming you can spare one.
手伝った方がいい？
Would you like a hand?
大丈夫。
No, no.
というより
I'm sure we'll manage.
私の分も
Better that you
他の
take
こと
my
は
place in the field. The noxious aether in this place disagrees with me, and I shall need to draw on my own for the treatments. It would be prudent for me to remain within the camp. Okay, alright. I did click.
ああ
This talk of clearing the tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold's a more pressing concern.
ここいらの家は
All the houses around here are fitted with petroleum heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is the machine seems to have given up the ghost. And if we keep sitting around here freezing our asses off, we'll be next.
このままじゃ
My smiths reckon that with the right parts they can have them working again, but that won't be easy.
承知した。
Understood. The mechanists will assist them in the repairs.
となると残りの
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
テンパードと交戦し
We have made our presence known to the Telophoroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position.
にもかかわらずこの静けさ
That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests that they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
何か別
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice. In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianga, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Boston and Dalmascan scouts from my previous excursions for good measure. Don't forget about us Alamingans. We have experienced scouts of our own. Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace. How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
サンクレットには
It
必
would
要
be
な
my,
んだろうけどな
it would be my honour to be of service, though I doubt that you of all people need to rely on my tricks.
それじゃあ
That leaves us with guard duty.
いや
As a matter of
シコラ
fact,
とアルフィノ殿
I have something else in mind for the
他
two
に
of
頼
you,
みたいことが
you and Alphino.
この拠点と市街地
So in
の
here in
間
the
に
centre of the
広がる
capital lies
エ
the
ブラーナ氷原
Eblin Roim. I would have you search the area for survivors. Your keen sense of direction honed in your extensive travels should prove useful in navigating the ice fields. If there are any survivors, we will surely find them. Extensive travel is something of an understatement, but I suppose there's nothing else that needs doing. Ice fields. I love ice fields. Oh wait, no I don't. As ever, you do not want for enthusiasm. But given your experience traipsing through Cortes, I should be surprised if you let a little inclement weather dampen your redoubtable spirits. And even if that were the case, the promise of hot soup upon your return would surely spur you into action. You will have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you. Hey. I've never thought myself of much of an explorer, though I suppose my adventures have taken me to all sorts of strange and distant places. With that in mind, traversing an ice field should be a simple feat. Gods be good. If it's this cold with Tattery's clothing, I dread to think how we'd fare without it. I must remember to thank her next time we meet. It made me realise too that the people of Garlemald spent their whole lives in conditions like these. Even they'd be hard pressed to survive away from the warmth of their homes. If there are any survivors, we must find them, and quickly. So into the Ebon Rhine we go. And where do we even start looking at such a place? Hang on, I'm gonna go sit down, and I need I know where I can sit. I can sit here. And I'm gonna take a 5-minute recess because I need me some coffee. Alright, talk to you in a minute. And I am back. I pray you forgive me. I found some biscuits on the way down there, so I may be crunching through these every so often. Alright. Whoa, chums. Been given something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. Sounds like a rather tall order. Since you ask, we're to scour the Album Rhyme for survivors. What? Wander around ice fields on the off chance you'll find someone? It'll take forever to finish the job without the benefit of my expertise. More specifically, my telescope. Come, friends. I know just the spot to begin our search. I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humour him. I'm surprised how many wild beasts there are roaming about the place. Perhaps now that the soldiers have gone, they're free to wander and forage as they please. The few buildings I see don't appear to be residences. They may still warrant investigation, though. No, I'll wait until I'll wait until we finish the cinematic to have another biscuit. I spy with my little telescope. Massive sheep thing? Or maybe it's a cow. Not what we're after, though, either way. Is that an aether current? No, it's just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, snow, snow. But lo, what do I see over yon hillock? There is no mistaking it. That's a girl. A survivor? Show me. Over there, behind that tree. It looks like she's running away from something. Though surely not us. She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is she's wearing a pale green dress, a rather fetching one at that. She'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should still be able to follow her footprints. I'll let Lucia know where you're headed. And take these warming tinctures with you. The poor girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. That's actually very thoughtful, thank you, but won't you need some for yourself? No, I'll be fine. As a man of chivalry, my honour demands I do no less. And lest we forget, the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Please don't make me like him and kill him off. Now go, and Godspeed. Why are you still here? If you dally any longer, you'll miss your chance to play the hero. That's a wicked fucking mount. I'm gonna follow her. Must not be oh, so I just followed this person. Could be worth it. Should we get up on one of our mounts? I'm gonna have a biscuit whilst we do this. A trail of fresh footprints leads east. That's cerulean sprite. Huh. The footprints appear to be the same as you saw previously. They lead toward the building. According to the label here, this place was used by those involved with extracting ceruleum. We're getting closer, I'm sure of it. At first, we thought she'd gone inside the building, but the door doesn't appear to have been opened in some time. She might be nearby, so keep looking around here. Then in the end, it's also possible she'll run right past this place. Would you mind searching up ahead? The girl in the green dress anxiously surveys her surroundings. We need to call out to her from this distance. It might attract wild beasts to your location. It will be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. Follow the girl from a safe distance. Make sure to cover rocks or... I'm assuming she's going to turn around here. Yeah, look, she's turned around. So far, so good. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Someone there. I must be imagining things. Better catch my breath. See, she turns around every time there's an obstacle. If those beasts spot me, I'm done for. Hope my luck holds. Let's keep going, they're all depending on me. Turn around and keep going. Oh, just a bit further. This is it, the final spurt. There we go. Girling green. Oh. Phew, still in one piece. It's not a green dress, it's beige at best. Stay back. The house is packed. This house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. Please, we just want to talk. Malfino, this is my sister Alice and our good friend Chaka. We have no intentions of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. I give you my word. We and our comrades are here to come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid? You savages are the ones responsible for all this. You did this to us. We didn't, I promise you. One of the reasons we came here was to find out what happened here, in fact. The Telophoroi are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they've destroyed the entire world. They're the enemy. Our enemy. On our way we encountered Imperial soldiers who have been made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we're striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we've met who wasn't already enslaved. How were you able to escape the Telophoroi's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with introductions. Can you tell me your name? My name is Licinia. As for how I managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same question. Ever since that night, and the roar, that terrible roar, and then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought that maybe the fighting had stopped, so I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran past friends, people I'd known my whole life. Eyes vacant, dead, staring at the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled as far as my legs would take me. You have a family here. Is this their home? Yeah, so I'm gonna stream until 5 GMT plus 1 and then I'm stopping. Now this is Victor Spoils, a mansion for retired soldiers, or it was. But now me and a few others are borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. I just wanted to keep everyone safe, and I didn't know if you were... The truth is our supplies are running low. You said you were here to help, can you? Of course, whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I'd better tell the others first, though. Wait here. This is everyone. Licinia says you can be trusted, but these are desperate times. We'd be forced to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to provide us with some means of heating the place as a sign of goodwill, perhaps we could take you at your word. If that's too much to ask, then leave us be. Time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark with a little magic, Alice? We'll have a fire burning in no time. Maybe build it under the gazebo. The what? Oh, you mean the boa? Yes, do as you will. Oh shit, I'm sorry about that. Shoes are Tracks in the snow completed. Lucinia's inner turmoil is written on her face. Sorry, I'm finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping that things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do for them? Speak with Alfino. Alice's there. What they need most is a decent meal. With food back at the camp, but there's the distance to consider. I can feel my fingers again. All's well, all's well. With food in my belly and a song in my heart. I feel this is really sad. I can treat their frostbite and their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Emanuelin's tinctures, the one that can warm your body from the inside out, which makes sure everyone gets one. The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. Being gifts from the notoriously unreliable Emanuelin, it's highly doubtful this concoction will have the intended effect, if only they were willing, and more importantly, unwitting volunteers on whom to test it. Warming tincture? I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offer no more than meagre protection from the wind and snow. Food production, water purification. The magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. What machina that remain operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, cerulia ingens is full of the stuff, for all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. All is well. Yes, never better. Oh, what sweet liberation is this? Is it poison by any chance? Haha, 'twas a joke, If I laugh, 'tis that I may not weep, so said the poet, and alas, my tears would freeze on my cheek ere they fell. We are the blessed damned, to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar. When morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was a blood-livid capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the dishevelled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I'll wait with our fellow cowards for our final judgment. What do you want? A tincture? Might as well drink it, I suppose. This? It's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it. We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular, made with components crafted with the finest ore, sourced from Locus Amoenus, it is. All that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women who sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Amoenus. We may have founded the Empire in these frozen wastes, but we always hoped to take back what was once ours. It is a solemn reminder that, though we must suffer great hardships, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varys still lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy, faking his murder. He must have seen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varys would not be defeated so easily. What's that? So this is what you gave the others. Thank you, I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? I saw Legatus Vergilia's troops heading towards the Magna Glaciers a few days ago. Are they the ones that you encountered? Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Vergilia and his men are all there now. So how did you reach the Magna Glaciers? Did you cross the mountains on foot? Airships? Then there might be a way to... The Signora, where is everyone? Is something the matter? Voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby Almasty has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Well, the soldiers to scare him off. Wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlement. Some have been known to attack people too. I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a Legatus, surely a few beasts wouldn't pose a threat. Would you mind, if you're of a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there. Those people whose job was to extract cerealium. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange. Lots of food. And that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. You best watch out for baby Almasties whilst we're away. Yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoot them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easy to just look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. Be careful. I'm not sure what else the Tappers might need beside provisions, though I dare say that capable fighters like yourself can offer them other forms of compensation. Culling dangerous beasts, that sort of thing. Might as well eat a biscuit whilst we're waiting. What's we getting there? Early tapper. Who goes there? How did you find us? What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Those stuck-up arseholes. Though they could come waltzing in here demanding cerulean, thought they could come waltzing in here demanding cerulean with nothing else to offer in return. Ha! Well, it's like the boots on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. So they're resorting to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, sellsword. If they think that we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. This isn't going to end well for you. Have you met Nuggy? Stop, please. Consider me intimidated. There you are. Just after you left, Lucinda asked me to go and catch up with you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting barrels of cerulean. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. Who are you? What happened to the guards? Ilsen and rebels here to save the people of Galmald. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess. None of you are Garlean. You were brought here from other lands. Garabania, Yanksia, Bosja, Dalmacia, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will. Others fed bollocks about a better life and all put to work extracting cerulean. Given the esteemed title of Anne, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Galmald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is cerulean ingots, still sustaining us, even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing up cerulean from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, if it's not cerulean, it's not as much as if cerulean is used for much these days. What with the city in ruins, we take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And although it helps stave off the cold, it does sod off our hunger unless we trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent that we've got cerulean by the barrelful if they're interested. We'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Galmald. So we're staying here for the time being. As long as there's a need for cerulean, we'll find a way to get by, even if Galmald as we know it is gone for good. Gone for good. If you're wondering why we'd post guards outside, it's because we've had some trouble with other refugees. And I don't mean the ones at Victor's Spoils. Some of them come bearing weapons and won't take no for an answer. As for the two guards you met on the way in, I'll tell them what we've discussed once they've recovered from the beating you gave them. Come to think of it, maybe we should ask your contingent to send some bandages and healing balm. Regardless of what the Ilzeberd contingent does for the people of Galmald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life has been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. So you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? What? Those purebloods up at Victor's Spoil sent you? To turn to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Licinia's got her little sister to think about. A sister, but we only saw Licinia and and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needs treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused Licinia at first, thinking she won't come back. She'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them on send them our way. You hear? I can't for the life of me think why Licinia would keep her sister a secret from us. But we can ask about that after we've delivered this ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. And back we go. Yeah, we get to ride Nuggy though. Shit. Wasn't very smart. Oh, I guess I don't drop anything. This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphinaud would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. So outside the house is a no-go. Fire's gone. Oh, there's someone there. Oh, damn it. Damn it all. What the fuck happened? They asked me to help carry supplies. When I followed them back here, they attacked me. Caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. Can't fool us now. Oh, you can't fool us. We know. We know what you're about. Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings to show us, for us to show weakness, then you swoop. Here to help? What rot. All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in. Put yourselves at your mercy. Put us in chains. Steal our land. Get your revenge. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later. We've got a bigger problem. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true. Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. And if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'll never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot. Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry, or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Guardian would sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than to be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them, since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I need to tend to my injuries, and theirs. I will join you in the search after. Alright, be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here. That's where we'll start. Fucking poor Alphino. He got beaten up for no reason. I'll phone him as soon as I can. After I've given them some basic treatment, I'll take them inside the house and use a light sleeping enchantment to keep them to help them rest and ensure they don't cause any more trouble. I'm sorry, but this is something I must do. Rob us our lands, rob us our pride. No, I won't allow it. Better to die free than live in servitude and shame. The girls would say the same. Two sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on. Alright, this is the last quest I'm doing. The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route as to not leave footprints. I can't think of any other reasons. Look at this place, it's crawling with beasts. And I can only imagine how hard it must be for our ailing sister to cross the ice. What we could really do with Alphino's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Oh man. I'm assuming they're going to be over this way. Oh, it's Cobblends. Zoblins. Okay. I need to change this because I don't like that music. half-buried piece of paper. The wet paper, half buried in snow, appears to be a flyer for a theatre group, though the run of shows they've devised has long since ended. Something over there. Empty bottle. The empty bottle smells faintly of alcohol. The thin coating of dirt indicates it's been here for some time. It's unlikely to have any connection to Lincinia or her sister. I'm going to Google that because I just can't be asked to go around this about 50 times. $30.32. Oh, there it is. The blood-stained snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southward. There it is. Oh, shit. No, her. Damn it, Nuggy, you have to stand all over him. Yeah, I remember I started laying out. The two bodies were already cold. For fuck's sake. Why? We just wanted to help. Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. Why? Why wouldn't they?
私たちは
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic.
すまない。
We should have. I should have.
手を貸してくれるだろ
We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
私たちが弔っ
What
た
if we're only making it worse?
わからない。
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out in the wind and cold. Oh, that's upsetting. I heard the story about Varys' voice from beyond the grave.
ありえるはずがない。
Of course, I didn't believe it, but Lucinia and his sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand, so I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's alright.
私たちが君
He
た
had
ち
every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers,
決して忘れない
invaders.
君たちの大事な
But I pray that in time we will be more than that to you.
これから先
That we'll find a way to help your loved ones and see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow. There must have been something we could have done, but what? Should we never have come here? Would they be alive if we hadn't? Well, on that bombshell, I'm going to have to leave you because I've got to go and do some stuff. So, thank you for coming. Hopefully next time we have a slightly more upbeat stream, because this one's been a bit